In 2024, Google's total revenue was $350 billion. Out of that, Google's profit alone for just 1 year is $10.2 billion. These aren't just random numbers I found on the internet. This is from Alphabet, Google's parent company's financial report. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because every day, in one way or another, we all use Google services, like YouTube for videos, for information, and cloud storage. For emails, there's Gmail. For location, there's Maps, and so on. But here's the point. How does Google make $331.27 billion years by giving all these services to us for free? Some of you might be wondering about this. Yes, Google does sell some paid services like YouTube Premium and Google Drive, but the people who actually pay for these services are less than 5%. The remaining 95% of users use the free services. So if Google is providing free services, in this video, I'm going to tell you what the actual business is all about. Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. This is your friend Jack. First of all, to understand Google's business model, you need to know why a search engine like Google was created in the first place. Nowadays, whenever we want any information, we just easily search it on Google. But before Google was invented, finding any info on the internet was really tough. Back then, there were search engines like Lycos and AltaVista. Information on the internet wasn't organized. You couldn't just directly search for something specific online. First, you had to open an internet directory, find links related to the info you wanted, then type those links into a search engine to get what you were looking for. To put it simply, just like we have dictionaries for English words now, in the 1990s, the links to websites on the internet were all organized like a dictionary.
Back in the day, using the internet was super tough. In 1996, two PhD students at Stanford University in the US, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, started a project with the idea of organizing all the information on the internet to make it easy to access. That project was called Backrub, and it eventually became what we now know as Google. Let me tell you how it all happened. In 1998, Larry Page and Sergey Brin created this internet search engine. They were thinking of giving it a name. At the same time, they came across a name. Google is actually a number name. If you put 1 next to 100 zeros, that number is called Google. Just like million, billion, and trillion are numbers, Google is also a number. So to represent that their search engine could search through an enormous amount of information, they decided to name it Google. But while designing Google's website, a mistake happened, and the spelling became Google instead of Google. They typed it out, but when the founders saw it, they said it looked good and decided to keep it as is without changing it. So now, do you get how the Google company got its name? Next, if you want to understand how any company makes money, you first need to know what business they're in and how many products and services they sell. Let's take a look at Google's products and services once. But listen carefully from here on. Every company has an entry-level product to get into the business. That product is...
People started doing business while selling. But in the beginning, there weren't many such products. That's because Google was a free platform. But in 2000, Google launched a platform called Google AdWords. Using this platform, any company could promote their website to appear first on Google's search engine. This Google AdWords platform, launched in 2000, is still one of Google's highest revenue contributors. After Google AdWords, in 2003, they launched another platform for doing business called Google AdSense. Here's how it works. Google AdWords makes a website's link show up first in search results, while AdSense displays ads as banners on the side when you open a website. Both of these make a lot of money for Google. Next, in 2004, Google launched Gmail, and in 2005, Google Maps. But here's what you need to know about Gmail and Google Maps. Google also makes money from this, because many companies promote their businesses on Gmail and Google Maps. Next, in 2008, they launched Google Chrome, and in 2012, Google Drive. However, not all the products under Google now were originally created by the company. Some products were bought from others. For example, Google bought Android in 2005 and YouTube in 2006 and merged them into the company. These two companies still exist today. Google also makes a few $1 billion in revenue every year. Next, this company started making not just software products, but hardware products too, starting from 2010, like Google Nexus, Google Pixel phones, Chromebooks, and Google Nest smart home products. So overall, these are Google's products and services. Now, I'll tell you how much money comes from each of these products and services and how it happens. At the start, I mentioned that Google made $350 billion in revenue in 2024. But get this, 56% of that money comes just from ads on their search engine. So you can imagine how much Google earns from ads alone. Now, do you know the main reason Google makes so much cash? It's all about the data. When we search the internet, read topics, or buy products, everything gets tracked in the background and stored. Wondering how this data works for the company? Google uses this data to targeted ads show up on our screens. Compared to regular ads, these targeted ones help advertisers sell their stuff more easily. Let me explain how with an example. Say someone is searching online about their hair fall problem. Then ads from certain companies start popping up on their screen, like ads for food products, electronics, clothing, and so on. The point here is the user searching for hair fall info ends up seeing ads for electronics on their screen. Showing related ads means there's a really low chance the customer will buy them. But if you display the best product on the customer's screen, like a hair fall control product called Best Product to Control Hair Fall, the customer will click on it right away. That way, the chances of the product selling go way up. This is what targeted ads are. The company uses the data collected from us to figure out what we want in advance and then plays ads on our screen that match that. Simply put, Google matches companies with the right customers and decides which ad to show to which customer. This is basically Google's main business. Around 56% of their revenue comes from this ad service. After ads, the next biggest moneymaker for Google is Google Cloud Services, which includes data storage, data analysis, and machine learning services. Subscriptions come in third place after that. Platforms and devices bring in about 12% of the total revenue. Coming in next, YouTube ranks fourth in Google's revenue sources. In 2024, Google made $36 billion from ads on YouTube videos. So if we look at the total data, Google earns around 75% of its revenue from these three ad services: Google Ads, YouTube Ads, and Google Network Ads. In short, that's the big picture. Google has become a monopoly in the advertising business worldwide. That's why a lot of investors are putting their money into this company. For example, the company's share price was around $2 in 2004, and today it has reached $180. Many companies based in the US are doing business globally and growing really fast, like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia, and so on. Let's look at how this company spends its total revenue coming into NextG. According to 2023 data, 48% of their total revenue goes towards business operations. This means the company is using that money for infrastructure, hardware manufacturing, and paying YouTube creators and business partners. By business partners, they mean, for example, in 2022, Apple paid $20 billion to have their products set with a default search engine. The next big area where this company spends a lot of money is something else. Let me explain. Generally, for any company holding the top spot, if they want to keep that legacy going in the future, they need to keep coming up with new products all the time. To create these new products, they have to invest a lot of money in research and development. That's why, in this company's expenses, they spend about 18% on research and development. Globally, among the companies that invest the most in R&D, this company ranks second. That's why, for decades, no one has been able to reduce this internet business giant's market share. Google spends the rest of its revenue on sales and marketing, as well as administrative expenses. So the important lessons we can learn from this company's business model are: lesson number 1, make it free and make it
Addictive means creating a valuable product and giving it to users for free to grab their attention first. Once you get their attention, you can easily monetize it. That is, make money from it. For example, we use Google and YouTube for free, but the companies behind them make billions in business from advertisers who want to reach those users. Got it? Lesson number 2, create an ecosystem, not just a product. There are lots of products in this world. There are lots of companies out there, but not all of them have the power to dominate the world. That's because most companies focus mainly on product development and don't put much effort into building an ecosystem. An ecosystem means providing all the products and services a user needs under one roof. So long term, the customer doesn't feel the need to go to any other brand. Very few companies actually do this, like Google, Apple, Amazon, and a few others, because they're the only ones who've truly succeeded in building ecosystems. All right, so if you found this video informative, make sure to hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, this is your friend Jack signing off.